I can hear you now, Dan. I just can't see you yet.
Yeah, you won't see me. I don't have a video.
So, welcome to another episode of Epic Sketch Time. My name is Mark Monlux. I do a couple of web comics, The Return of Stickman and The Comic Critic. I'm a freelancer in Tacoma, Washington, and today I will be working on Space Aliens.
I'm Bill Morse. I'm a freelancer out of Seattle, Washington, and I also do a webcomic called Rhapsodies.
This is Brett Giuliano. I'm a webcomic artist based in Chicago. My comic is called The Dust Bunny Mafia, and I'll be working on a little bit of fan art for a couple of other comics tonight.
I want to thank Dan McConnell, who's a fellow member of the National Cartoonist Society, for sitting in and joining us this week.
Well, you're very welcome. And as the chapter chair of the National Cartoon.
Oh, Dan, I don't know what you did to your microphone, but we can barely hear you now.
Really? Okay. Maybe I'll turn myself up. If that's possible.
I expect I got a couple emails in saying that some people are working on their taxes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I went to a new comic book convention this week.
Oh, right. How did that go?
It was the first time that Wenatchee, Washington ever had a comic book convention. And they did an okay job. They did a couple of rookie mistakes that I wish that I hope that they'll rectify next year. But I came out in the black, which was good, and I was showing people my Kickstarter, which is the Obscure Movie Monster playing deck, and I'm getting a lot of really good response from them. I'm sure I could have sold a dozen decks at the show had I had some with me, but as it was, I just had a normal bump in the amount of sales that I've been getting. I'm about 280% funded. The last time I looked, I think I'll easily get to 300% funded.
Nice.
But about their
Congrats.
oh, thank you very much. About their show, they I would say that it was it was more of a pop culture than a comic book show, and that's how they were advertising it. You had a lot of folks that were there, 3 different places that were just doing seamstress work and costume works to support the cosplayers and everyone else who does live role-playing. There were a number of comic shop vendors, another number of gaming shop vendors. They must have had like at least 3 different gamer table areas set up. One was right next to me. And they also had a stage, which every now and then they'd have a magician come up and do a magic act. I later found out that Wenatchee World, the magician who was one of the big sponsors of this event, that magician rents space from them inside their building. So
Can you hear me better now?
a little bit
faint.
Whoa. What'd you say?
You sounded faint.
And I'm still faint?
Yes,
You're a little bit better.
But
How's that?
that's got it.
There you go.
So still a bit of a reverb.
Eat the mic. Yeah,
the WenCon, they had 1,700 people there, and they came away in the black. So they're going to do it again next year. Only it's going to be 2 weeks or 2 days
2 weeks.
instead of 1 day.
That's rather ambitious too, to do 2 days.
Yeah. Well, don't you think for a first-time effort that
Oh, definitely.
to be in the black, that's pretty good.
I think for a first-time effort, they did a lot of things right.
Yeah.
Now they were suffering from a little bit of competition over on this side of the mountains. There were, I think there were 2 different events happening. One was the Olympia Comic Fest, which is only a 4-day long show. And the other one was a 3-day long show, which was Crypticon. I've done Crypticon a number of times in the past and haven't been completely happy with the show, but then that's when it was scheduled on Labor Day. Crypticon tends to be one of those shows where the people go to get the signatures from a variety of interesting individuals, but they usually have it's also oriented towards the art and cult aspects of pop culture, and they also have a stage production happening every couple of hours. There's the daily thriller zombie dance troupe.
Oh, that'd be fun.
There is the yearly zombie walk where people dress up as zombies in downtown Seattle and get on the train and then head over to the hotel. And that's usually a good publicity draw to advertise for Crypticon. So I don't know. I'm tempted to decide. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do Crypticon next year and see if it's going to compete. Or the advantage of doing Crypticon is it's just down the street. I mean, it's SeaTac is a short drive. I don't have to stay overnight anywhere. All I have to do is worry about parking, and I can come home at night. Whereas that 3-hour drive to and from Wenatchee on the same day was a little bit of a killer.
Yeah. Maybe we can change the date if there's a better date for the WenCon.
I think the date is pretty good because you're talking about you're dealing with a local crowd. I don't know how many people come over from Wenatchee to go to Crypticon, and it's a different type of feel of event.
Well, the Wenatchee people go over to the Emerald City Con.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing around.
Yeah. I don't know about the others.
The Olympia Comic Fest, they just pretty much promote it locally, but you have to be an original artist to be in. They don't allow any other vendors to show because it's produced by the Olympia. It's called the Danger Room, I think.
Yeah.
Is the name of the comic book store in Olympia, and since they're the sponsor, they say ain't no other stores. So.
Yeah, I know that guy. He's actually from Wenatchee area.
Oh, you do? I had no idea he was from Wenatchee.
Yep. Rock Island, actually.
Brett, what comic conventions are out in your direction?
Well, considering I just moved here in summer, in June, the big one would be C2E2, which is coming up or next week, 2 weekends from now, the 21st, around then. And then Wizard World Chicago.
Oh yeah,
I've heard mixed things about Wizard World in any
Oh.
area.
I was thinking you had WonderCon, but I think it's Wizard World.
Yeah, there's a Wizard World that took over the Portland comic book show, and their rates are extravagant, like $400 for a table.
Whoa.
Sounds about right.
Meanwhile, Rule City, which is basically held in the exact same venue, is more affordable. Rose City switched to 3 days this year to compete with Wizard World a little bit more. But Wizard World's run by Reed Pop, and they're the company that took over Emerald City Comic Con. If I'm wrong about any of these, then people can just correct me in the doobly-doo down at the bottom of the screen underneath the YouTube.
What's the Crypticon table rate?
When I last did it, it was $150. So you're paying about $50 a day. But I was also having a problem at Crypticon in that I was mainly selling to the other vendors. Back then they were overstaffing because staff people could get in free, and there wasn't that high of an attendance rate. And the people who were attending were spending their monies not so much on merchandise, but on signatures. And again, I think a lot of that had to do with the date that they were scheduled. It was Memorial Day weekend. And I stopped doing Crypticon because my wife said, I want to do stuff Memorial Day weekend. I don't want to be abandoned by you. There's a wonderful little convention in Yakima that started up last year, I think. And I would be attending that. But it's in October, and it falls on the same weekend that I celebrate my wife's birthday. And she told me that she does not want to be a con widow on her birthday. Which is too bad, because I'd really like to see how that show would go.
Con Widow sounds like a good comic strip. Sell it at the cons.
I think Booth Babe would go over much bigger.
What?
Booth Babe?
Yeah.
Booth Babe. Yeah.
Mm.
Or as my wife often refers to herself as a car ballast. Car lane ballast.
So why don't you vectorize your images instead of spending all that time cleaning up the little dings?
This was part of Inktober, so I did this art with a brush stroke.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I don't vectorize it is because it would come across more noisy and the automatic trace wouldn't work as much. So what I do is I'm just going in, and I found that when I do my coloring, I have to make sure that there aren't any little weird, like right here. You see that little pocket?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The way I color, that would end up being white, so I have to make sure that those things are just gone. If I was doing this fast, I would just, get rid of the pockets. But some of the edges, like this edge here, I want to make sure that looks nice and smooth, because this particular alien is sort of like a giant insect. So I want to make sure that its shell has a nice smooth surface.
Okay.
And since I started doing these, I make sure that I don't ink with I always ink with a nice wet brush, because you start inking with a dry brush, you get a lot more of those burrs happening.
Yeah. I specialize in birds.
Also, I'm not working with the best paper. I'm just using Xerox paper here. So I'm sure if I was on Bristol board, it would look a lot nicer. But
Yeah, we all know you're cheap.
yeah.
Ha ha ha.
Oh, when I was leaving Wenatchee,
Yeah.
And we were leaving McGinn's after having a delicious dinner.
Yeah, great. I'm glad you like it.
I ran into T. He was coming in to pick up some takeout.
Aha.
And from how he described his order, I'm beginning to wonder, is T vegetarian?
Oh, he might be. I'm not sure.
T was
Yeah,
at
it's funny because he has red Angus cows, so maybe he gave up beef because he's too attached to the cows.
Red Angus? I don't think I'd have heard of that breed.
Yeah, it's like black Angus, only they're ginger, red colored.
Anyway, T is also a member of the National Cartoonist Society. He's got a
It's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock.
syndicated strip called Over the Fence.
Or the hedge.
Pardon me, Over the Hedge. You might have seen it in a movie.
Yeah. That was an awesome movie, and I was so disappointed they didn't come to do number 2. There was plenty of stuff there they could have gone with.
Or at least a TV series.
Yeah.
Now, did they just send him a lifetime supply of videos for him to sell at these conventions? Or
I'm not sure. That'd be nice.
So, Dan, you don't have a camera today?
I don't have a camera at all. You have a recommendation for a camera?
One that plugs in. They're pretty cheap. You can pick one up for around $35. A decent one will run anywhere between $35 and $65. If you get most of the Logitechs are pretty reliable.
Yeah, that's what we had before, and it didn't work.
Really?
So how do you get your screen on?
Are you on a Mac or a PC?
All PC.
Don't ask me. I'm on a Mac.
Mine's built in. Sorry.
Actually, the way you get your screen on, to do a screen share like what we're doing, Google Hangout has this option where on the top left-hand side of your screen, if you do a rollover, it'll pop up some icons. One of them is screen share. And what you do is you just hit it once, and what it'll do is it'll replace your face. But it won't dominate, so that when other people talking, their photos will pop up. Like, Bill, why don't you say something?
Okay, right now I'm working on some comic figures here. So as you can see, opens up to my page with the Clip Studio Art.
Yeah, he didn't automatically pop up. I just had to click over on him.
Oh, he didn't automatically pop up? Yeah,
No.
automatically popped up for me. So
Well, that's because you're Mac.
No, it popped up for me too.
It did for Brett?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, me and my little sad PC. How about you, Bill? Are you on PC or Mac?
I'm on a Mac,
Okay.
though I get chastised by a lot of friends for my choice.
I think I'm probably going to have to leave because I'm not.
Oh, you're having to take off? You got something place to go?
No, I just feel excluded because you're all Mac.
I'm on PC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Misunderstood.
don't have my webcam is built in. That's what I was saying.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah, I have a really old monitor, so I had to go out and buy a webcam. And I bought like the cheapest webcam I could find. So it's when you see my face, I'm looking like I'm in the middle of a big room and it doesn't zoom in very nice, and that's okay.
Brett, where did you come from before you moved to Chicago?
Well, I was living in LA. I lived there for 10 years, but originally Sacramento.
Okay.
So why the big move to the Windy City?
Well, my wife got a opportunity to pursue her master's and have a teaching job attached to it. So it was always something she wanted to do, and was like, you get a, teaching credential, master's, and a job right off the bat. Seemed like a good reason to move. So
Sounds like a really great reason to move.
yep. And I mean, the program she's doing is a 5-year commitment, and we're young, so we're like, we can do 5 years. And if we want to, move out of the city in a couple, after the 5 years is done and relocate somewhere else, we'll still have time. So
Yeah, one of my friends named John Schmelzer, he's a member of the Graphic Artists Guild, was actually the president for a couple years. He's a great cartoonist, and he lives in Chicago. He breeds and pigeons. So he goes to this club he belongs to. It's this Polish pigeon club.
That's good. Always good
That's
to have an
interesting.
alliteration.
Yeah, I think it's just Polish by default, but it's a pigeon club. But everyone who's a member is Polish.
Oh. I wasn't sure if it was that or just Polish pigeons.
Every year I keep telling myself, I could crash at his house and do E2C2, and he'd be wonderful to have as a booth babe. He's really crusty and
A crusty boot babe.
yeah, we go to the Art Institute and we're looking at paintings. And he says, "Look at all the schlock on that one. Look how this guy goops up the canvas. Isn't that a piece?" Wonderful, highly complimentary comments like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he does caricatures of everybody when they're not looking.
Yeah, he's not particularly kind either. I have another number of drawings that he has sent of me over the years. Several of them involve bondage themes.
I don't remember if he did anything offensive on mine. I just was all I remember was it was showing me with a really, really, really weak chin.
You got off easy, Bill.
Yeah, I try to give people a choice when I'm doing caricatures. I tell them it's like eggs. You can have it soft boiled, easy over, or hard boiled.
I've lost count the number of times that John has drawn me naked.
Oh, I know.
I have a whole folder of these images that he.
You better hide that, dude. Well, I better get going. I got to do something.
Well, as long as it's not with us. I'll talk to you later, John. I mean, later, Dan.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Brett.
Nice meeting you too.
Good talking to you again, Bill.
Likewise.
Bye-bye.
So, Mark, is that alien? Let me guess on that alien. Is that the one from Quartermass in the pit?
Yes, otherwise known as 5 million miles to Earth.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I thought that was my best guess, but at the same time, I don't remember seeing images of the alien other than the side shot. So,
When they first cracked open the spaceship, this is what was peeking out at them. So that's the shot I wanted to use rather than the side shot.
because that was impressive. Because I mean, all the other ones looked like they were using generic models of grasshoppers.
I came across. I thought it was really low and down to my last 25 of my first book. 25 copies, I mean. But when I was prepping for this show, I found another box of books. So I'm going to be able to go into my Kickstarter and expand out. I have this one sale level where you can buy both books with a deck of cards. And it's been one of the more popular sale levels aside from the early birds. And I've got lots of requests for me to make it so that people can add another deck of cards. There's two ways of doing that. One is I can just go ahead and add in another award level for additional decks. But most of the requests are coming from people who have additional reward levels. I don't want to make that too confusing. Right now, I've got like 23 different award levels, which is a little high, I think. But the other way of doing it is to give instructions that people just add another $15 to cover the expense of another deck. Or I could go to the additional expense of using a service to do add-ons, but they take a percentage. And the percentage is not just of what the add-ons are, the percentages of the total. So I don't want to really do that. Not with only this many followers. Well, I'm going to mute my microphone for a while because I got incoming call here.
Okay.
Oops, he hung up. Oh, I wonder if he butt dialed me.
Oh, for a second there, I thought that was one of your special ones. With the is that Sergio Leone?
Yes, it was.
I do not recognize the movie. Or wait a minute, is it considering is it Once Upon a Time in the West or am I just assuming that because of the harmonica?
I've decided to drop in tonight, everybody.
Hey. Finish your taxes?
The taxes are done.
All right. I actually finished mine early. At the moment, my only concern is the traditional paranoia of, while knowing darn well I put a stamp on the envelope, but the fact that I don't actually remember doing that, I'm coming off as making myself mildly paranoid.
Sorry, I couldn't figure out where to find the microphone on this thing, so I had just left the room for a little while. I have my assignment today started off as take this guy and make him into and put him in a spacesuit. And so it's a straight-on mugshot of this guy. So I'm doing a straight-on angle of a spacesuit, and I sent him 4 different comps, and it says, it looks too much like a spacesuit. And I said, wait, you asked me for a spacesuit. Yeah, well, I'm not sure if that's what I want now.
Oh, are you being your own client from hell, Mark?
Oh, this is my guy, and it wasn't me. So I did 4 straight-on shots of him as a superhero, and says, no, I'm not liking these either. And he's sending me these clip art references. I said, all the clip art references you're sending me are 3/4 shots of people's heads. They're not mud shots. I could draw until the cows come home, and you're not going to like anything because you want a 3/4 shot. I don't got a 3/4 shot of this guy. Well, let me just do a 3/4 shot of just a random guy, and I'll send it to you. And right away it was, oh yeah, that's really along the lines of what I want. I said, okay, get me a 3/4 shot of this guy. So that was the client calling me back saying, hey, I found 9 different 3/4 shots of this guy. My day could have been so much better if you had just done that earlier on in the day. I guess send him an invoice. For my concept work. Brett, are you working inside Illustrator?
Yeah.
So, Bill, do you recognize this wonderful creature?
Oh, I am not sure. Not at the moment, unless I saw something.
This wonderful gem is called From the Crawling Eye.
Oh, I know that title. I'm just still blanking on that particular image.
Well, they don't really show the monster a whole hell of a lot. Brett, is that a jumping bean? What is that you're drawing? So, Bill, did you watch the 2 movies you picked up at Scarecrow Video last week?
Yes, I did.
Which one did you prefer?
Ooh, hard one. As far as a total film, Flying Machines was probably better. Though Jack Lemmon was really having fun in Great Race. My one problem with Great Race is it felt like there were several plot elements that which made up making up a whole lot of the film didn't feel particularly necessary. I mean, they were essentially 2 separate subplots that were sort of strange locations that the racers visit, but how relevant were they in the end? If that makes any sense. But as far as Jack Lemmon was playing it up completely as the card-carrying, cheating villain.
I loved that movie as a kid. So what have you put on your short list for this week's movie selection?
Oh, let's see. Nothing complete. What do I have up? Double features. Nothing really planned yet. I mean, I can probably still go with that Wodehouse idea, but at the moment, I'm not sure just how much I like it. Oh, another one, though, I checked out a good one from the library. Have you ever heard of the cartoon, the French comic book, The Extraordinary Adventures of Adèle Blanc-Sec?
I haven't.
It's essentially French steampunk with, but anyway, Luc Besson produced a live-action movie of the first one. And I'm not sure how much I like it, but it's some pretty good CGI and good chase scenes.
Oh, so this is relatively recent then.
Yeah, 2010, I think. Though,
I'm in the process of watching Ex Machina.
Oh, right, you said you would. How do you like it?
So far, it's pretty much what I expected. It's now getting to, I've watched about 2/3 of the way through the movie. So the climax seems to be coming up. we'll see what type of if it's at all what I expect, or whether or not there's some red herrings along the way. I'm waiting for Westworld to become available on Netflix. I'm very curious to see how that's going.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard enough about it that I am genuinely curious, but
I watched the first couple episodes, and it was very good, but it wasn't. I was willing to wait several months when I can do like a free trial and like just catch up on all the Game of Thrones and catch up on Westworld during like a free week's trial or something like that, you know?
Yeah, I'm at least a full season behind on Game of Thrones.
yeah, me too. I got temporarily burnt out on because of season 5, and then I heard 6 was them getting their act together again, but by then it was too late.
I'm still trying to catch up on some other shows, but it's hard to, like, I'm so far behind. This gives you an idea of how far behind. I'm still haven't watched all the Weeds series, and I really like that series, but it's been out of circulation now for a few years.
What show did you say?
Weeds.
Oh, okay.
And another show that I'm watching is Dexter. Still haven't finished up on that. My wife couldn't get into it after season. She kind of lost interest after season 3. And she and I watch a lot of different shows. But the thing is, I don't want to spend all my time watching TV shows when I could be watching movies. So I tend to watch movies on my own time and watch shows with my wife. So I do watch a lot of what my wife likes to watch, which thankfully has a fair amount of science fiction and fantasy involved. But she never got into Lucifer, and I really want to watch Lucifer because I heard that it got better after about the 6th episode. My wife and I watched about 2 episodes. She says not into it and moved on. So before we leave, I thought I would show you guys what Kickstarter looks like behind the scenes from the supplier's point of view. I'll pull that up in a sec.
Hey, Brett, what have you been doing with, is that a Zombie Boy strip you've been mucking with?
Yeah, I'm borrowing Mark's bug characters And I'm going to do a crossover and feature his being recruited to the to be recruited into
the family.
Into the Spider Mobster family.
Nice.
But he's just gonna dismiss the whole lot of them, and the final panel is gonna actually show you what characters they are, and it's gonna be the whole lot of the Zombie Boy bugs.
Very cool.
So here we are in the on my Kickstarter, and the main thing is over on the left-hand side you have these various options for doing editing and stuff. One of the things is this dashboard feature, which shows you how much money you have, the percentage you are, and it shows a nice, beautiful little daily graph here that when you do a rollover, it tells you how many backers you're up to on that particular day. It then starts giving you some feedback of where this traffic came from, some Google Analytics here. And most of the traffic has come from within Facebook. It'll also, you can also see which of your products are the most popular. So my early birds have been very popular, and then this deck right here is one of my most popular ones, and I'm going to be able to increase this because of the books I found. And then you can pull down to the activity, and these are the everything from comments, adjustments to pledges. An adjustment is when you switch over from one level to another, and a lot of these people have been leveling up as I add in more features, and I'm very happy about that. Then you have the backer report. This tells you, gives you all the information on your various backers, messages you've gotten from them, and the amount of money that they're donating to your cause. You also have messages. This is where you can put out messages to people and get them back from your backers. A tremendous amount of spam comes in.
Wow.
From people trying to say, let's see, like this guy trying to, oh, I can do a promotion. I can give you 10% off and use the coupon code, and I can boost the sales for this. You know, I'll be your social media advisor. And I would say that a huge number of emails coming in, especially at the beginning, was just spam, spam, spam. And I was told to expect that, but I was really quite shocked by how much that was. Now, here's a button that a lot of people click on too fast. This is the award surveys. But I found now from talking to other people that you don't want to create a survey for a level until the very end, because you can only do a survey once on a level, and that's it. There's this wonderful little collaborators buttons in case multiple people are running your Kickstarter for you, so you can include them in. And then you can see what levels they're into. I like to post updates. I post an update nearly every day. This is what that window looks like. And then I'm also editing the project, which is a completely different set of windows. I'll click on that. And up here are the 5 categories. The basic, this is just the quick information that pops up when people do a search. Then you have the rewards. This, when you click on this, this is for structuring up your rewards. And once you launch the Kickstarter, you can't edit some of the features. Like you can't edit the amount or the value of the award. What you can do is increase or decrease quantity in case something changes. Then you have what's called the story section, and this is where you can update things on a regular basis. But here's this little window, and you have to put everything into this one little window. It's like this one long HTML page. There's Stowe's new artwork. Travis's artwork. These guys are doing screensavers for me, and that's really nice of them. But you can edit that as well. The About You section, I'm finding that not a lot of people come into the About You section. The account, I won't go into that. I'm going to go over to the View Project because there's still more ways of accessing or looking at things. This is stuff that's public to everybody. So here's the campaign, or what they were calling the story, but there's a section called Frequently Asked Questions. These are questions that were coming in that I have since made answers to. And I can edit those at this stage. Here are what the updates look like once they have been posted. Gives you these nice little timelines. There's a comment section, which is different than the message section. I think the comment section is just per the project, whereas the message section is just for me as a Facebook. Anyone, I have a Facebook account, so the messages just goes to that person at that account. The community page, this is lots of fun. This will show everybody where all the backers are from. Now, when it says top countries, I'm not shipping to these countries, but these people were originally from those countries, but are living in the United States. Either that or they're shipping it. But here, look at this. This is the really interesting thing. New backers is 11. That's 11 new people to Kickstarter. And then the 127, these are people who were already existing in Kickstarter accounts. So really, a lot of people inside Kickstarter are really into being Kickstarter supporters. And here's a wonderful little share button. I encourage anyone to go to my site and share this. Don't just like it, share it. I like it when people like when I do postings, but it doesn't do me any good unless people share this stuff, you know, and get it out there. And I'm finding new ways of promoting things. The other day, I put out a Twitter that sounded like clickbait. And people were actually responding to it. So I don't know why. But anyway, that's why I wanted to show you guys.
Cool.
And my phone alarm just went off. It is getting up on 5:40. So I'm going to call this this episode of Epic Sketch Time to a close. For those of you who are watching, please contact me on my Twitter account at markmonlux.com. That's MarkMonlux. The information should be in the doobly-doo underneath the YouTube link down below. Special call out to James Stowe, who started this group, and we all hope that Stowe will get his technical act together and rejoin us. And I'll see you gentlemen next week.
Okay, you all have a good one.
See ya.